in behind Florenzi now. Ronaldo! Oh! Cristiano Ronaldo!
This is Views from the Touchline. Welcome back to Views from the Touchline, your weekly insight into the beautiful game. I'm Billy Rogers. Alongside me is my co-host, Alan Smith. Alan, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, Bill. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'm pretty tired. Just came off of a rough soccer practice. We got a big game tomorrow up in Albright, Pennsylvania. So I'm excited for that. But, the season's going on. UCL got back in the swing today. That was great to see.
Yep.
I mean, you and Messi, oh my goodness. 5 goals in 2 games now?
Yeah, he's on fire right now.
Oh, that was great to see. I mean, I'm very excited. My team is in the UCL this year. As you guys know, you probably make fun of Arsenal all the time. No Arsenal in the Champions League. So, I mean, so is life. But you got Liverpool this year in the Champions League.
Yeah,
How about that?
Well, I don't really want to talk about Liverpool, dude.
We'll get to Liverpool later.
This past weekend, but
I'm just. You can tell I'm very excited for the Champions League to be back. It's some of the best soccer in the world. You have some great leagues like La Liga and the EPL and all these other leagues, but nothing beats the Champions League. Because, you just have these big teams facing off against each other, and it's the biggest stakes in the world, obviously, the brightest lights in the world.
Yep.
It's some of my favorite soccer to watch, That's what I'm very excited to see that again. What are you looking forward to this week?
Oh, this week, well, tomorrow, obviously, Liverpool-Sevilla is going to be a rematch against each other. And if you guys remember, they played in the Europa League Cup final last year, so... Unfortunately, Liverpool did not come away with that, so we're trying to.
I think you're thinking 2 years ago because Man U won the Europa League last year.
2 years ago. You're right. 2 years ago.
Which is the only reason Man U's in the Champions League now is because they won the Europa League final last year. Obviously, you can't. That's you gotta know that. I got my. I'm very. I'm down to. I got all my stuff. Already today. I'm very excited for episode 2. We're calling it Survival of the Fittest.
Yep.
It's something that we kind of thought up in the past days today. We're thinking that. It was a big week to see the big teams like Barcelona got back on track after not playing great against Real Madrid in the first weeks of the season. Nope. You had Arsenal come away with the win. You had Chelsea come away with the win against Leicester.
Right.
Any other big teams. Bayern did lose. You had 1 or 2. Bayern fell in Germany. They lost to
Hoffenheim. The Hoffenheim game was pretty tough for them. You didn't really see them get any chances to get their foot in the door at all in that game. So I think that it was a good game for Hoffenheim.
Just in general, though, we're talking about survival of the fittest. I think just like you'll start to see the best of the best. You're gonna start to win, and it would just you get back in the grind of each week where they have to struggle for those 3 points, and the best teams get those 3 points, and that's where you see the best teams will win week in and week out now, and that's just that's why our episode is titled Survival of the Fittest.
Right.
It's just like the fittest team, of course. So
congratulations to Brighton for winning their first ever Premier League game.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. Didn't Crystal Palace win also?
No.
Oh, they lost.
Their third
I was gonna say, but West Ham had their first 3 points of the year. That was good to see. They spent so much money this summer. It was nice to talk to see them finally win for the first time of the season. All right. Well, just as I mentioned before, on today's episode, we will discuss many of the big teams in Europe getting back to winning ways. Alan, what else?
We're also gonna see that the upcoming fixtures this upcoming weekend.
This weekend, yeah. And then also, weekend. like I mentioned, the Champions League's back, so we'll probably discuss that for a bit tonight. There were some great games today, so it's obviously Tuesday recording right now. So, when this comes out, hopefully, I guess Tuesday night, we still have some games to watch tomorrow. You got big Tottenham-Dortmund game. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that. And, we'll obviously get to anything that happened today, which was like Barca-Juventus, great game.
We're going to talk about the Mane incident that happened this past weekend. That's going to be one of them. So.
Yeah, Celtic, PSG, any of the games, yeah. So
controversial.
We're coming right out this this a midweek kind of podcast thing. Hopefully this is good for you guys. We'll preview the games that happen tomorrow. So we're kind of splitting like the UCL in 2 days, obviously. Then you have Europa League Thursday with Arsenal coming. My team coming back into the European game. Kind of interesting to see how that goes for them. But if you guys want to get connected with us, Views from the Touchline. We've been growing our social media a lot this past week. We
have a Facebook page.
We had a making Facebook page this week. And our podcast is actually now it's on Blueberry also. It's a free podcast hosting site. I submitted that actually to Blueberry on Monday night, so hopefully you guys can find episode 1 and episode 2 live there. You can for our Twitter it's @viewsfttl, and you can find us on Facebook at Views from the Touchline. Just put that in your search bar. Search Views from the Touchline. It's right there. To read all of our latest articles on our blog, you can navigate to viewsfttl.wordpress.com. And Alan, where can our fans listen to our podcast? I mentioned this before, but where else can they listen to it?
Well, Burberry, and then also through the blog.
Yeah.
And we're gonna re-upload maybe through SoundCloud.
Yeah. So I mean,
something was happening. With
I'm
it, right?
I'm pretty much in control of this. This is where Alan kind of watches from the touchline.
Literally, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys need to listen to our podcast, it's on SoundCloud as well. That's pretty much our primary upload site. We'll go to SoundCloud first, and then I put it on Blueberry afterwards. But actually, the other night I actually put it on submit to iTunes for the first time.
You did iTunes.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's under review for iTunes.
Under review right now. I'm very excited. Hopefully, get this on iTunes very soon. I mean, that'd be very nice. You guys can put it on your phone. You can download it, listen to it on the go, listen to this wherever you want. So I mean, that'd be a huge step for us. I'm very excited to get that hopefully reviewed and accepted. That was one of our goals from the start. And we're already 2 episodes in, and this is looking like something that we can actually keep going with. I'm really excited.
I'm excited, even though school's in full flex. We're gonna try and keep our schedule disciplined and get ourselves in here in the library every Tuesday and try to get pump an episode out. So we'll see, man.
Yes, I mean, definitely you guys better help us out on social media. Give us the follow. Like we talked about in episode 1, you guys are more than welcome to mention us on Twitter, ask questions, submit content. Anything else to talk about specific that happens. We're definitely open to talking about it. This is something that's not just us. We want the fans to be a part of this also. If we get some fans,
yeah,
I know we have.
My mom and my dad are my fans.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah. I got my girlfriend. My mom, my dad.
That's my fan group.
Oh yeah, exactly. But it's great to have people like that supporting us. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's definitely a great experience. But I'm very glad I have them supporting me with this, and it's awesome.
It'll eventually grow, I think.
I hope so, yeah. Alan, where can they follow you on social media as well? Can you just get to that also?
Well, my Twitter is @AlanDragan.
How do you spell that?
AlanDragan.
Cool.
Yeah, and then also my Instagram is alan.smith.22.
Cool. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's @BillyRogersAFC. Rogers is RODGERS. And you can follow me on LinkedIn @WilliamRogers. This is, I think, always get some connections as well, too. If you guys find this pretty interesting, everyone get on this, help us out, Find us on our social media as well. Helps us out as well. You can kind of see our links to our blog, to this podcast as well if you ever want to find it. Cool. But moving on though, what are our top stories in the week?
Top 3 stories that we got going on. Well, the first one, let's just hop into this one. Mane's was it malicious or was it controversial? The red card versus City.
For me, I have to say it was controversial. I mean, we were scripting this earlier and we were talking kind of about how. I mean, I was saying I kind of originally said Mane is controversial red card, and you were like, oh no, it's malicious. I mean, what do you think as a Liverpool fan? What do you think?
I took a look back of what happened, and Mane was looking at the ball, but you got to say that you knew that he wasn't going to get there in time. You knew that any chance Ederson was going to pop up and get that ball, but it just came to be that Mane's bottom of his boot ended up in Ederson's face.
But don't you think, though, the ball that was outside the 18?
It was outside of the 18.
Doesn't the forward have every right to go for that ball, though?
It's one of those damned if you don't moments. If you go for it and it does and it works out and you get past the keeper, you score. And if it doesn't, apparently you hit a goalkeeper in the head with your boot and
he broke his jaw. He broke his jaw, I think, right?
His jaw, yeah, and he had to get some stitches and patted up on his face, and now he has to wear a helmet for the next month or so, I think. So.
I don't know. For me, it is definitely more controversial than malicious because as a forward, I play forward as well. I think that you definitely have the right to go for that ball, and it's your given right in soccer to go for a 50-50 challenge.
In the big boy league, you got to expect those things.
I mean, I definitely when I saw it at first in live action, when I was watching the game, I didn't think it. I was kind of confused as to what happened.
Right.
And then I watched it again. I definitely thought it was definitely a malicious challenge. Right. I mean, dirty, but this is definitely this is the controversial part where it's like, was it on purpose? Was it accidental? Was it his right to go for the ball? That's where I think it's a little controversial. But definitely think once I saw it. Again, in slow motion. It was definitely a red card, has to be said.
Of course. And if you'd say that he would just get a yellow card and no one would say anything, that would be a little off. That would be weird from the referee,
Yeah.
But because that's putting the goalkeeper's life health
it's a head injury,
Yeah, right. And
you have to say it's his life because there's been concussions, just not in soccer, but everywhere,
Better check
everywhere.
For that.
That's just a scary thing to go into. Concussions aren't fun, and so
Mane was actually had a lot of class after the game. He actually posted a Instagram, I think, saying that he apologized to Ederson.
That's always good to hear. Always good to hear.
On the challenge, and that he hopes he has a good recovery and all that. So I think that's that's a lot of class from Mane.
All right, well, that's our first story. Our second story, we're talking about, I think we're going to talk about this a lot in our podcast, but it's kind of that struggle between Barcelona and Real Madrid, that power struggle, between watching each one of them slip up sometimes, or having a brilliant performance where you have, Messi and Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick in separate games, where they're both playing at the same time,
right,
just trying to outdo each other. But we're talking about Barcelona getting back on track this week. They had a big 5-0 win over Espanyol, and then on Tuesday, they beat Juventus 3-0. Messi with 5 goals in 2 games. I thought that was a pretty huge story.
Yep.
Like Alan said, he broke his goal jar against Buffon. What do you say about that?
Well, every time he's faced Buffon, I don't know how many times it's been, but he has never scored against Buffon once he's played on any stage.
Wow.
So I feel like that's a good little. Well, even though Messi's getting up there, it's still a good accomplishment for him to get that tally on there,
Definitely. Definitely with Buffon probably retiring at some point also, and just having that, he's been such an amazing goalie, and just to kind of see that kind of fall, finally one of the best players in the world, scoring as one of the best players in the game, putting 2, not one but 2 goals past him, both were absolutely unstoppable. You have to say,
he was the best one.
Oh my, that I think you can't give enough credit to Iniesta, the pass from Iniesta.
Oh yeah,
but you have to say the Messi cutting back on his left foot. Oh my,
puts it right.
Man, it is just unreal to watch. I'm a right-footed player. I cut on my left foot. I'm just looking at take a weak left-footed shot, maybe get
my left is just for standing on it. So.
get a deflection or something. But yeah, I thought also, we'll talk about this later, but I thought Dembélé looked pretty dangerous too. On his debut, he had an assist. And he looked pretty dangerous against Juventus tonight as well. That was pretty impressive.
I think he shut everyone up from saying, he's not going to like what I said last week. He's not going to provide for Barcelona what you think he is from what Neymar was doing and etc. But he did actually. He actually wasn't too bad, even though everyone was slandering him because of his his presentation. He was like messing around with the ball.
He couldn't. I thought it was pretty funny though. How we talked about this last week probably, but how they had these people juggling out in front of all the fans. Yeah. And you got Paulinho kicking the ball 5 yards in front of him, taking this awful touch, and then same thing with Dembélé trying to do these around the world and just not being able to do this.
It doesn't matter as long as you provide in the final third of the field. That's all you need to do. And I agree. Dembele's assist this past week was pretty nice.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about it later, but our third story of the day also is talk about Neymar and Mbappe, coming back, that 5-0 route this weekend. Or 5-1, I should say, against Mets. And then they have another 5-0 win against Celtic tonight. You have to say their attack is looking pretty damn awesome, pretty damn good, and dangerous as well.
But you also got to put in that Cavani is an unsung hero on that team.
Oh my God, we were scripting this tonight, and we'll talk about this later also. But he had 2 goals tonight again, and he had 2 goals on the weekend. The game we're looking forward to, the Mets game, to see Mets versus PSG. Their first, the first with Neymar and Mbappe in the same team. But I just think that their attack looks absolutely devastating. And 10 goals now in 2 games for the entire team.
Yeah.
I think you have to say it's one of the biggest stories. Looking forward in the Champions League, I think that PSG could definitely be a legitimate force going forward.
Legitimately go very far in this competition. I
have to agree. We'll touch more on PSG later.
Yep.
But we were looking forward to some matches last week. We were previewing matches to watch last week. We had the Man City Liverpool game. We had the Arsenal Bournemouth, and we had Man U and Stoke. First off, we'll get more into this Man City Liverpool game. We just talked about Mane earlier. But after that red card, it ended up being 5-0. After that red card, though, do you think Liverpool should have defended better? Do you think that it was just...
It wouldn't have made a difference if
you don't think so?
Off the field. All right, if he was on the field, if they gave him a yellow card, he was still on the field. They would have put more goals away, because I think that.
My question though is, do you think that take the red card away and it's 11-11? Do you think Man City still goes out of this game 5-0 ahead? Sure. You think so?
Liverpool never had a footing in the game in the first place.
Okay.
From the kickoff, you saw that there was no momentum going forward with Liverpool.
And did Aguero score before the red card? Yes, as well. So
you're going to say the defense right now is in shambles. You really can't find a pinpoint a person in that team where you can depend on in your own defensive half, where you can say, okay, you can sort of count on them to take care of the 1v1s in their area. But at this point, we need to find someone in the January market. We cannot deal. I have to
laugh at Oxlade-Chamberlain. He goes from being a player,
being routed against Liverpool,
and then
joining Liverpool,
and then losing 5-0 again.
Right.
I saw some stuff on social media. I was laughing. He went 9-0 2 games in a row. That was kind of, or I should say 0-9 2 games in a row.
Oh my gosh,
that's kind of funny.
Do you think he's a snake? Do you think he's a snake for moving?
I honestly, like, we talked about this last week, but I don't think, like, it's too much of a deal to me, a big deal to me, because, it's one of these guys who he would just run forward and kick the ball out of bounds, honestly, a lot of time, but, his end product wasn't that fantastic, and I think that, like, if he truly didn't want to play, he was playing left wing back for Arsenal. He's not a left wing back, let's be honest. If he wants to play midfield, center midfield, or right wing, cool, do your thing. Like, I don't think that, he's leaving for all this money and stuff, or because Arsenal offered him
$180,000 and he turned it down.
Exactly. So I mean, like, the money's there. Obviously, it's like, I just think that for his career, I thought that was a smart move for his career. Obviously, to play in his primary position.
And he said it was his childhood club that he wanted to play for eventually.
Whatever he says to that, cool. I don't
see him as a snake, to be honest. And this is being non-biased. I'm trying to be as not biased as possible with this, but I think that, all right, he sees what Jurgen Klopp is doing with that club, and he sees what's happening with Arsene Wenger at Arsenal. Arsene Wenger is not really taking steps forward with the tactical and trying to make things happen. With Jurgen Klopp, you're seeing in and out. He's trying to improve players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, the young guy coming through, and him starting his first season as a first-team player and making his impact. So I think that he wants to be under that arm. Oxlade-Chamberlain wants to be under Jurgen Klopp's arm and tell him, all right, you can become this good if you do this.
Definitely, yeah, because he's still very young, with respect to him, But I mean, moving on though, let's talk about how do we think Arsenal responded against Bournemouth? They won 3-0.
Brilliantly. Welbeck is on fire.
Yeah,
Welbeck is on fire. And it's a good problem. It's a good problem for Arsenal.
Definitely,
what I mean?
I thought Lacazette's goal was very nice.
Yeah.
He took that very well. But I mean, I don't want to talk too much about Arsenal or Liverpool, our favorite teams. I just think, though, it was definitely a good response. But I think that you can't look too far ahead, though, because you got Chelsea right away next weekend on Sunday after a Europa League game on Thursday as well. So I mean, you definitely have to. That game on Thursday, Europa League, is definitely crucial. Getting a win out of that,
it's going to be very hard.
Getting back on their feet in Europe, I think. But it definitely was good to see him win at home again, and with all three are very very nice goals from Welbeck and then from Lacazette. I just think that it was a good response, to losing to Liverpool, and obviously seeing Liverpool lose, that was nice. But
who would you rather see play in your forward three for Arsenal? Giroud, Lacazette, and
as in the target man?
As a target man. Who would you rather see as a target man?
For me, I really think it depends on the game, because, you have some games where they play Stoke, and, like, that's where you want to have Giroud up top because he's such a big physical presence. But then you play these teams like Bournemouth where you can turn on the ball and, attack the goal, where I think that Lacazette's what Arsenal misses. Like, you would never see Giroud get that shot where Lacazette had him put up top 90 with his right foot. I mean, sure, you see him hit the one time with his left foot, off a pass, but Lacazette it was a very good combination. He was able to take a touch and then hit it upper 90s. I mean, I have to say, I think Lacazette is first choice. Yes. But I do think circumstantially, it really depends on what kind of game you're playing, and that's what I have to say. But okay, well, I mean, in your personal opinion, who would you rather see play the most out of those three? Lacazette, just because the amount of money that was spent on him, I think that you should use the money. I mean, you should get your money's worth. You're basically what you invested in. Yeah, but all right. Well, that's enough about our fair teams. We touched on that a little bit. Our last match we're looking forward to was Man U Stoke. We're very excited. We're very excited to see that, and it's also our match of the week. It was a great game. What do you think about the game?
Well, Choupo-Moting helped everyone else in the league sort of secure their place, I guess, for another.
That was nice. Yeah, it was nice. It was definitely nice to see Man U drop points, because they've been on fire. You have to say they look like at that point was the best team in the EPL at that point. I mean, it has to be said. But I think Stoke is such a tough place to play at, and you can't fault teams for dropping points at Stoke, because it's such a tough place to play.
Yeah. Well, also you have new players like Hesse coming in.
You have to say also, like, you look at Stoke 4 years ago, and it's this team of just like huge guys who go around clapping people and putting their studs in shit.
Petr Cech playing up top for them at some point. I'm like, oh man.
You mean Peter Crouch?
Peter Crouch, jeez. Sorry.
You should say Peter Crouch.
Peter Crouch, yeah.
Yeah, but
I apologize.
I think that it was a good game, seeing Rashford score. I just think that, once again, you can't fault teams this year. There's going to be a lot of teams who will drop points at Stoke, because they're a very scrappy team. And like you said, both of us said, 4 years ago, they're such this, kick and run team with these large players. Now they have players like Shaqiri, Hesse coming in. Yep. You had Bojan for a bit too. I mean, it's just these new generation guys that Stoke's playing some decent soccer at sometimes, it has to be said. So, I mean, that was actually, for once, it's a pretty good game to watch, I have to say.
I agree.
All right, well, I mean, let's talk about it now. 3 exciting games for this week, for this coming week. What are you excited to watch?
Well, we have Tottenham versus Dortmund coming up.
That's tomorrow. Yes, that'll be
That's
Wednesday.
tomorrow, yeah.
That'll be after this post tomorrow.
That's one of the games that we're gonna look forward to watching. So yeah, I mean,
What's your prediction?
My
what do you
prediction
think?
for that will be 2-1 Dortmund. I want to see the Wonder Boy Pulisic get off the mark with that.
You think Dortmund can take the points away from home?
Dortmund could take the points
It's
away
at
from
Wembley,
home.
correct?
It's at Wembley.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So I feel like you have Aubameyang, which is a lethal force no
Yeah.
matter who you're playing with the pace and turning on the man, and then you also have a lot of players around them that can provide for him. So.
For me, I think that, Dortmund coming to Wembley, I think Spurs will probably try their best to sell it out and be probably a lot of fans there. So I think the atmosphere will kind of be, Dortmund used to play in that very crazy atmosphere with their insane fans at home at the Signal Iduna Park, yeah.
Segunda Park.
Yeah, and I think that it'll be 1-1, honestly, because Dortmund have such great quality and they're very experienced team playing in Europe, obviously, and we'll see what Spurs do. But I think that honestly Spurs won't take 3 points out of this. I can't see.
No, and also you see Dortmund facing tougher opponents in their first 2 weeks of their campaign, playing Bayern Munich, right?
Yeah, Super Cup, the German Super Cup, yeah.
So I feel like Dortmund will have a good game to put up for.
Okay, well we'll see
away
about
from
that. What's this? I have this written down here. Do you have this Harry Kane goal record? You wanted to mention this.
So you see Thierry Henry, his goal record for when he reached 100 goals, his game tally was at 189 games.
So he had 100 goals in 189 games. That's and my idol right there, Thierry Henry.
Yeah. and I have this proposition and question for you after I tell you this other stat, which is Harry Kane scored 100 goals, 12 games less than Thierry Henry.
So that's 170.
No, 69. 169. Yeah, 169 games.
That's more than 12 games.
That's what it said here. I don't know.
So that's 20 games less.
20 games. All right, 179 then. I'm sorry. Anyway, do you think Harry Kane is world class or will be world class?
I think honestly,
or do you think he's overhyped
in order to answer that question, I think you have to see Spurs do something in Champions League this year.
Okay.
Because when you talk about world class, you talk about players playing on the biggest stage.
Right.
And you've seen Harry Kane play his greatest in the EPL. Obviously, he scored some great goals. Yeah, I can say this as an Arsenal fan because he has scored some brilliant goals. It has to be said, and he's been a lethal goal scorer. And I think you can't say he's really much world class though until you kind of see him on the biggest stage, which is the Champions League. I mean, yeah. He's a great player. You can't deny that. He scored some great goals, like I said. But I think that, in order to classify him as a world-class striker, I think that it's so important that Spurs do something in the Champions League this year because, in the past they've kind of just came in the Champions League and they've just played and lost in the group stage or did something, yeah. But, you said 169 games.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I can't fault Henry. I think Henry is honestly...
You got to say at that point, the competition Thierry Henry was playing against in the Premier League was probably one of the elite and most golden ages of the Premier League.
Oh yeah, but also you see Henry as such a world class player. That was because, like I said, he played so well in Europe.
Yeah, he was also drifting off to the side. He wasn't necessarily scoring all the time. He
was
providing as well. He was providing for Lindenberg.
Although Kane, I have to say, although Kane has scored in faster games,
right.
I do think that you still classify Henry as one of the greatest strikers of all time, just because of his dominance in Europe as well. Not just for Arsenal, for Barcelona as well.
Yeah, of course, and he had a lot more in his locker than Harry Kane does, in my opinion. He has a lot more techers. He's a lot quicker than Harry Kane is, and he also has more strength, in my opinion. So
okay,
I feel like Harry Kane has a little bit of work to do before we can call him world class. As you said, he needs to provide in the big games.
Yep.
So
we'll see what happens to that.
Yep.
I mean, that's definitely a big game to watch tomorrow in the Champions League. Spurs versus Dortmund. Moving on though, our next game we're excited for is Man U Everton. This is going to be actually a huge game. It's at Old Trafford. Mm-hmm. We're going to see Lukaku come back and play Everton. I mean,
they're coming to him to play.
Coming to him. But then you see Rooney coming back to Old Trafford.
Of course.
That's going to be. I mean, I think they'll give him a lot of respect. I think they'll definitely clap for him.
He's a legend.
Yeah,
he's a legend for that club. No doubt. Undoubtedly, he's a legend.
That's where I don't think he'll be disrespected in any way for leaving. No. He was the right time to leave Man U. Obviously, to go back to Everton. That was his boyhood club.
He put his shift in.
Yeah.
And you know how the English fans get once your players get a little bit older. They don't really have that much respect. They're just trying to see you did your role for us, but I don't think you'll fit in our system anymore. That was sort of the Man United view on it.
And even him too, he felt it was his time to move back to to a new challenge. He said, and to his boyhood club that he played that he actually started out for. What do you see the outcome of this game being?
I see a 3-1 to Man United. I see a brace from Lukaku, and I see either a goal from Pogba might play because he's a 75% chance of playing because he has a hamstring injury.
Was his hamstring bad tonight? I mean, we'll brush too on. Obviously, you'd mentioned the hamstring. Pogba actually, we're watching the Champions League earlier today. He actually hurt his hamstring against Basel, right?
Yeah, it was a little. He just had a little bit of an overextension. I don't think it was anything serious in that, but I think that he might actually play. But I feel like anyway, I think that he might get on the score sheet if he's given the opportunity to play this weekend.
Okay, well, I mean, for me, I definitely think Man U would definitely take all 3 points. I mean, it's at Old Trafford. They look lethal at Old Trafford so far. I have to say 3-1 to Man U. I mean, I just say 3-1 though because I think Rudy might score against.
Rudy might score. Yeah, that was the thing.
Because you saw him score against City.
Yeah, that was the one thing.
Classic. So I think honestly he'll probably pull a goal out of the hat just knowing how Rooney is. I think, but still, the Man U look absolutely fantastic. Still, they played great against Basel today. Lukaku scored again. Rashford scored again.
Yep. Rashford. Speaking of Rashford actually scored on all of his debuts. After scoring tonight, he has scored on all of the debuts that he has been given. So he is a rising star for sure.
Definitely. And then we should mention too, our third match to look forward to is the PSG-Lyon game this weekend in League One. I think this is definitely PSG's. I mean, although they've looked so great so far, I think this is definitely the best team that PSG will face so far in the league. In League One, obviously, and then in Champions League too, because they played Celtics tonight. It was 5-0, easy,
5-0. And
dominant display. Obviously,
it was. You got to say, as we were mentioning before, Cavani was pulling his weight tonight.
We'll talk about his stats later, but I mean, I just want to brush off this real fast before we talk about Cavani in a bit.
That combination.
Yeah, I just think that it's definitely their first large test.
In the Champions League.
So we'll definitely see what happens with that. They've been pretty good so far. In League One, I mean, they've won by such large margins so far, but I think that this will be a lot closer. I mean, what are you predicting for this game?
Well, I predict a 2-0 win to PSG. I think it's just going to be a safe game for them. They might not go out all full guns blazing, in my opinion. They might just give a little rest to some of the big guns and let the younger guys take care of the work.
I said 4-0 at first, but now that I think about it, I do think it should be a much closer of a game. I said 2-0 to PSG also. I mean, I don't see them losing this, obviously.
Nope.
I mean, their defense also. I mean, you got to give them a little bit of credit. The defense has been pretty good. They've conceded only a few goals in the past few games so far, and I mean, I definitely do think PSG will come away with a clean sheet against.
It's gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be one of the.
And I mean, they're at home also too.
Yeah, so they're always dominant at home. Their home record is unbelievable. I don't know what the numbers are, but they usually always win at home.
Okay, well, let's talk about a stand-up performer of the week. I mean, we usually do this. We both have we highlight one of our favorite players of the week. Alan, who is your stand-up performer of the week for this week?
As I was going to say before, Cavani is my stand-up performer of the week.
So we actually looked through his stats, Cavani's stats.
It's unbelievable.
I
cannot.
I think the thing for me is, I kind of agree with this. I mean, I think someone who has played better this week, but I mean, I think that Cavani in the past, in the season so far, there's been so much hype over Mbappe and Neymar being, coming in. This such expensive duo.
He is the unsung hero.
Exactly, and there's just been no mention of Cavani. We look back, he has 9 goals in 6 games in League One plus 1 game in the Champions League so far. And this is today was actually his 3rd game in a row with 2 goals.
Yep, and you're gonna see when I was watching. When Neymar entered the stage at PSG, when he wasn't playing, Cavani was still providing for him. He was getting in the right positions and using all of his poacher techniques to put the ball in the back of the net. So, regardless of who
he scores goals.
He scores goals. Yeah. Regardless of who he's playing with or who he's playing for, he'll score goals.
Yeah, I definitely think you have Cavani now. So he had 2 goals today, 2 goals in the weekend. That's 4 goals in the week. I mean, but you look at Messi, though, best player in the world.
Oh, man.
He had 5 goals in 2 games. He had a hat-trick versus Espanyol, and he had 2 goals tonight against Juventus. That's my stand-up performer of the week. I just think that Cavani, yes, he had those goals, but I think that, Messi's goals that he scores are just unreal.
Yeah.
Cavani, he's a poacher.
You saw the first one that Messi scored with how he nutmegged the center back to score that goal to ping it right to the far right corner. It's unreal. I feel like he just knows.
And even his first goal, that ball, it was
he just opens up his body.
It wasn't shot so quickly. No. It just kind of just rolled and rolled, and Buffon didn't move.
No, because he knew that he's not going to get that reach on it because it's literally in the top most
bottom. You haven't seen bottom.
The bottom-most farthest corner that you can reach and that you cannot get as a goalkeeper.
Unreal. Well, we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be back to you guys in about a minute or so. All right, and we're back.
All right, welcome back, guys.
Well, we just talked about best performers. We're going to talk about worst performers now of the week.
Billy, who's your worst performer for this week?
It was definitely you.
I appreciate that.
No, I'm kidding. You're doing a great job, Alan.
So far, me mistaking Peter Cech for Peter Crouch is probably the worst performer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're doing an awful job, man. I mean, you definitely should get off this podcast. I'm kidding.
We're looking for a stand-in. I'm just kidding.
Well, my worst performer, to be honest, I had to say Real Madrid. I mean, you look at they've had two home draws in a row, 2 weeks in a row. And then you had Marcelo get sent off in the end, a red card out of just frustration. Kicked it.
That was a temper tantrum. He literally kung fu kicked the guy.
Where's Ronaldo been too? I mean, Lucas Vasquez had a single goal against they played Valencia home or no?
Yeah, Lucas Vasquez, he saved that game against Levante.
Oh, Levante, that's who it was. Yeah,
it was Levante.
I have to say. Yeah. But I don't think that. I mean, you just look at the score sheet and where's Ronaldo? Where is Ramos scoring that bullet header from a corner kick? You know, where is the dominant Real Madrid at home too? I mean, they don't look that great, honestly.
I mean, I don't know. I guess they're exhausted from the previous week from international
break. I guess. Yeah, that is a good point actually because they have so many key players who do play internationally. I mean, all the time too.
That's how you're gonna suffer as a big team like that.
Exactly.
You're gonna have 60% of your team.
That's a great point actually. Yeah, because look at the small teams have these guys. They stay and train. They're still at their club. They're not in team holiday. They're training every day. A lot of people probably have this misconception of
him being lazy or him being not a key player. But all right, he's flying X amount of miles to go play for his national team.
I mean, but just like training. I think what I was gonna say though, I think that the misconception though is that they think, which people in general think that during international break, the players who don't go on international break, they're just chilling.
No,
they train every day.
They're making
club.
Sure when the guys get back, they're trying to get in that space with the guys were going. They're
trying because usually I guess your starters are probably leaving to go on international break. Course. Where your other guys from the bench probably who don't play as much are probably not getting those calls up to the national team.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, as my worst performer, I mean, I hope to see Real Madrid respond in the Champions League coming up soon this week. Who is your worst performer of the week?
Unfortunately, it's Sadio Mane. With him getting, today I just heard that he got a 3-match ban, and that puts Liverpool's chances in jeopardy for the next 3 weeks. All right, and maybe it gives Oxlade-Chamberlain that opportunity to play.
Oh my God, can we please not talk about this anymore? No, I'm kidding. I do think that I think that we talked about the game earlier, but I do think. In the end, the red card did ruin their chances of coming out of that game with any kind of result. But I think that 3-match ban is rough because he's one of their key attacking players going forwards, and I think that actually, like you said, Oxlade-Chamberlain now definitely should
just because of what happened. I actually traded him out of my fantasy team. I actually got him out of my fantasy team because of what happened.
Well, you're a big fantasy player in fantasy EPL. We're looking at the dream team right now. I mean, what are some of the best players from this week in the fantasy EPL? I mean, what would you tell us?
Let's start with the goalkeeper, Rob Elliott.
He's at Newcastle, right?
He's a Newcastle player, yeah. So he's the cheapest goalkeeper option, but he's also the highest scoring in Game Week 4 after claiming a back-to-back clean sheet over a 1-0 win over Swansea.
Newcastle aren't the greatest team, though. It has to be said.
Well, you're also going to say Swansea as well. Swansea's also lacking right now, and they just picked up Renato Sanchez from.
What do you think of his debut?
unsatisfactory for me. I just think he was just
He did look good in the ball, looked very comfortable in the ball, but his passing, I have to say, was not up to par with what I thought would be coming from a Bayern Munich player.
Yeah, it was lackadaisical for me, to be honest.
I do think though, I think he'll play a good part in Swansea, hopefully staying above the relegation zone this year. But I think that he's a very good young talent who should
Thing is, it being his home debut, he should be able to show the fans, all right, I'm here for you guys to make you guys a better team. But it didn't seem like that this past weekend.
I agree, but I do think that though that. He did have a decent debut. It wasn't anything special. Wasn't anything awful. He's definitely gonna hopefully give some goals. His style is very similar to the style of the EPL. You do have the Bundesliga, which it seems a lot more methodical. You have Bayern who pass the ball for 90% of the game, and
made his life easier in Bayern.
Exactly.
He was on the head honcho team where he was just gonna be playing in it. He won't be playing in and out. He'd be playing often, but he would be playing against teams that aren't really as strong, which gave the other stronger players in that Bayern team a break. So.
I must ask then though, what league do you think? Because I think I have to say I think that the EPL has some of the most diverse players from all over the world. What league do you think coming from is the easiest to adapt in the EPL to? Because it's a very tough league. Like for me, I watched Ozil and Sanchez week in week out, and I think Ozil struggled a lot coming from Real Madrid, where La Liga it's very a lot of passing.
Swagger is different.
Not as physical though, but I think he really struggled. But what do you think is the easiest league, or even toughest league to come from the EPL and produce?
I would say maybe the Serie A.
To come to the EPL, toughest
because I feel like it's the easiest league to come from because it's the most.
What players from the Serie A though?
You saw Matteo Darmian from Manchester United coming.
What has he done though?
Well, he's been an
okay defender.
But I'm just saying, different players that come in defensively or that come from a defensive league are gonna have a better time.
Okay,
but I feel like either it's between the Serie A or the La Liga because La Liga. You're seeing that a more technical influence is in the Premier League nowadays than it was maybe 10 years ago.
It's definitely very physical, but it has to be said though, it is definitely one of the leagues where you have to have that bright spot in the game where it's physical for 90 minutes for 85 minutes, and then all the 5 minutes you need is just that spark finesse. Where the finesse of the spark where it's a moment of brilliance that separates the two teams where separates a Stoke City between a Man U where it's a rainy day in Stoke. And 85 minutes of the game, it's Stoke bombing the ball down your throat, and you have 5 minutes of Lukaku doing something insane, or even Di Maria when he played for whatever his stint was when he played. Okay, that insane chip versus Leicester back then, that was a brilliant. Yeah, but for me, I do think that it's tough. That's a tough question. I think it's a cool question to answer.
Yeah, no,
I think it's definitely hit and miss.
How about
because,
you? Yeah, what is your opinion?
I think it's a hit and miss because there's been so many players from so many different leagues who came to the EPL. But just if you look at the countries too, you've had Brazilian players like Robinho. He came to City and he did absolutely nothing.
His first month was okay, but the rest of the time it was basically he was a ghost.
But then you have a Brazilian like Willian who comes and it is just unreal. Yeah, that's where I watch of all the leagues. I think that where we live or just what kind of television we have, it's the easiest to watch the most amount of the English Premier League, which is why we talk about it so much, is because it's the most that we watch. Yep. Which is why that's why I love the Champions League now though, because we can see these teams more often, at a higher level too. So I definitely think that it's definitely there's been so many players from so many different countries that have come to play in the EPL, and I think that definitely Brazilians are it's a hit or miss. That's my main thing, my main point there. Or just you have a lot of German players too.
A great example for a player that's been around the league and came back to the league is actually Chicharito.
Oh yeah.
Chicharito coming away from Manchester United.
He was even at Madrid for a
period
of time as well.
He was for a good period of time, and then he went to Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, he's been La Liga, Leverkusen, that's in the Bundesliga, and then back to the EPL again with West Ham. Now I think that
he's made the full circle.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's making I'm not. All right, he only had 2 points in game week 4, which is this past weekend. But
in the fantasy
world, what we're talking about, I feel like he has a good influence on the team when he plays. no matter what it is.
Definitely. Okay, well, I mean that's just our little take there on what's called our best worst performance. Kind of went off into a
Tangent.
a tangent there, but that was kind of cool. But our next thing we have here, we with the return of the Champions League, it's cool to see our favorite teams playing again. My question for that though is who's your final this year in the Champions League, and who do you think is going to win?
Well, I want to see Neymar play Barcelona. I want to see PSG Barcelona in the final.
But do you want to see them, or do you think they're going to make it there?
Well, looking at what happened tonight, PSG look unstoppable. All right, you're going to say, all right, they play...
But who have they played so far?
They played Celtic. Celtic, all right. And
Celtic, Mets,
Mets, yeah. And those are not going to say...
Toulouse.
Yeah, they're not top teams that you're going to expect to play in the semifinal or the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But I'm going to say that those teams usually pack it in. Their tactic playing against bigger teams is to pack it in, and it seems like
the defense hasn't been tested.
The defense hasn't been tested at all. But you have Marquinhos and Thiago Silva, and
they'll be ready. Obviously,
they'll be ready. Yeah, because they're always on their toes. And imagine what it's like in practice for those guys playing against that front three of Neymar, Cavani, and Mbappe.
That is true. That's definitely one of the things.
You're playing against elite players in practice, and I feel like you're being tested in, week out, and just in the slightest chance in the French league that PSG gets a ball played into their own defensive half.
Well, I mean, along with this PSG Barca final, I mean, you have to look at the collapse of PSG last year in the Champions League. I mean, bar Neymar leaving Barca, it's the same attack though going against the same defense pretty much.
Yeah.
So I mean, what do you generally do think that PSG's defense can stop Barcelona this year in the final? And even Barcelona or
that's a hard one for me, but I feel like when it comes to when you see Neymar perform in finals, sometimes hit or miss. He's very hit or miss with those situations. And you're going to see that Neymar has been more providing in finals these couple past seasons. Like, for example, the Olympics, I don't want to say...
he played pretty well in the Champions League final 2 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, he actually did he open the scoring for that game?
It was Neymar or Suarez, I forgot. It was one of them.
It was either one of those, but I feel like Neymar usually produces in finals. And I feel that Messi, he will sort of clam up and not really provide as much.
Interesting.
That's what my take is.
That's where, I mean, I do think, my prediction is I do think Barcelona will win this year. But, I mean, I do think PSG is a phenomenal team this year. I mean, their attack looks devastating. But, I mean, I just can't see them win the Champions League yet because I think they're not tested week in, week out enough.
Are they too young?
No, it's not too young. I just don't think that PSG is tested, week in and week out enough to say that they're an elite team. I mean, they do have such an expensive attack, expensive team, expensive all over the place. But I mean, you look at the breakdown, the meltdown they had last year against Barcelona. Yeah. You're just losing the deficit.
But you also see the score that they did put up that first leg. It's possible. It's possible.
It is possible, but I think Barcelona at their best with Messi and Suarez now. Then you have Dembele. I mean, I think that once he gets into his groove, I don't think that you can stop them against PSG because you just for me I can't see PSG. I mean yes, they definitely will either win the group or come second place in the group, but I can't see them. Going to win the final. That's just a big step,
Fair.
Mbappe in 2-3 years, Neymar 2-3 years will probably be some of the best players in the world, or close to that.
I think Mbappe will win the Ballon d'Or in 6 years.
6 years, fair enough.
6 years.
But this is right now though, and I don't think that. He's a great player, and so is Neymar, but I don't think that they're going to win the Champions League this year. I think that my final is Barcelona, Real Madrid. I think that you'll see. A
Clasico final.
Exactly with Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo will step up this year. He will show that he's still there. He's getting old, obviously.
Do you think he deserves the Ballon d'Or this year? Do you think he deserves it?
That's such a hard conversation because you have Messi and Ronaldo there every year, and it just seems that one game it's Messi who's scoring a hat trick, next game you got Ronaldo scoring a hat trick, and it's swinging back and forth. So, that's definitely a tough question.
But did you see? Well, I'm gonna say this: Ronaldo produced more trophies these past couple years.
I think that definitely the way they
weighs. Do you think that weighs more predominantly in Ronaldo's favor then, if you're looking to make a
'cause
vote for the player?
Definitely the way they vote and way you wait for votes and however they vote for Ballon d'Or. I do think that trophies are a big indicator of if you win,
productivity of what you're doing in the club.
Because when Ronaldo won the Euro Cup, obviously 2-3 years ago with Portugal.
Yep.
He got the Ballon d'Or that year, obviously, and I think that it's definitely a huge indicator. I'm based on who wins, but I think that
winning the Champions League last year.
Yeah, but in his prime though, it's definitely coming to an end though. But I think that he definitely has 2-3 good seasons left of him, where he'll still be on top. How old is he now? Is he 32? I believe
he's 32.
32. So he definitely has some good years left in him before it's time for him to move on. Eventually, we'll see what happens with that. But I have to.
Have you seen his FIFA rating?
What is it? What is his FIFA rating this year?
94.
Are you excited? Oh God!
And you want to know what Messi's is?
What's Messi?
93.
Wow.
So.
I think eventually you got.
Do you think that's fair?
For me, I'm not a big Ultimate Team player where you strive for those players.
Don't.
But
let's not get into.
I think eventually you have to score these guys equal ratings because they're just such phenomenal players, and the debate goes on whether Ronaldo's better, Messi's better. Messi scores.
They're both phenomenal. We'll just leave. I'm not. All right, you can continue what you're saying, but I feel like they're both phenomenal, and they both put a great show on for us kids in the 21st century. And it's going to be a story to tell my grandkids of how they are, what great players they were when I was a kid. So,
I should finally ask then, what's your, if you said those ratings from FIFA, what do you think is Messi and Ronaldo's actual FIFA rating?
All right. Well,
I'm a big FIFA player, so I could say I honestly think that EA Sports should just kind of call it a day and just give them even ratings, 95, because just like it goes back and forth. Like I don't think it's fair to score.
Neymar was high, not Neymar. Sorry, Messi was higher 2 years ago than Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly. It's just at some point, at some point you should just call it. This person the best player in the world, or they're just as good as each other.
Of course.
And with the live, they do have. I think that was cool to see them implement like the live stats where one game, if you're in form, the player goes up.
It's called the one to watch card. So people who are not familiar with Ultimate Team, there's certain cards that that are given each week that are called Team of the Week cards, which will enhance their stats by maybe 2 or 3 points and their overall rating by 3 points. And there's also these one to watch cards that are basically transfer cards of new players that are coming into the new teams. And if they get an inform or a Team of the Week card, their one-to-watch card will be upgraded as well. So
someone's excited for FIFA 18.
I promise myself I'm not going to get it, and I don't think it's a good... I enjoy playing it, but it gets me too frustrated, I'll be honest, most of the time.
I've always loved FIFA. I've had it since like 2006 back in the day.
Yep.
And I think that one of my favorite things is career mode, which is why I know all these names of players.
Yep.
And,
Are you gonna play the Journey?
I love 17. I love the Journey. I played that nonstop for I'll probably say 2 weeks straight, and I finished it.
The demo came out today, so if you're done all your homework tonight, I'll let you play some of the Journey.
Well, I'll spank you in FIFA any day.
All right, we'll see.
All right, well,
we'll see.
There's our little stint on FIFA there, but let's get some final thoughts real quick on this week. Alan, what's your takeaways from this week?
Oh wow, well. Someone wasn't happy with the U.S. this past.
Oh yeah,
this
we
past
must mention too. You had the U.S. men's national. We were talking about in episode 1. They were playing while we're talking about podcast.
They were playing.
They ended up tying Honduras. Yeah, 1-1. That was away from home though. But that was after a disappointing fixtures. But they lost to Costa Rica at home, and then it was 2-0.
Yep.
And then they tied Honduras away from home 1-1. So what's this Alexi Lalas thing I hear about?
You can pull up the clip.
All right,
you pull up the clip and let's
do this real quick.
Everyone.
Tim Howard. Tim, the Belgium game ended 3 years ago. We need you to save the ball now. Jeff Cameron, clean it up or let's get someone who will. Clint Dempsey, yeah, you're a national team legend. Now we need you to be a national team leader. Michael Bradley, the U.S. does not need you to be zen. The U.S. needs you to play better. Josie Altidore, is this really as good as it gets? Because it's still not good enough. Bruce Arena. Bruce, Jurgen Klinsmann lost at home to Mexico. You lost at home to Costa Rica. This is now all on you, not Jurgen. Oh, and by the way, to all the guys that I didn't mention it because you don't even warrant to mention, that includes you too, Wonder Boy. So,
wow.
what are you guys going to do? You're going to continue to be a bunch of soft, underperforming, tattooed millionaires? You are a soccer generation that has been given everything. You are a soccer generation who is on the verge of squandering everything. So, now it's time to pay it back. Make us believe again. You don't owe it to yourselves. You owe it to us. And get off my lawn.
I'm not listening to him.
And get off my lawn. That's the best part of that one.
I honestly, I have to say, I don't like Alexi Lawless. I just hear him blab on the Champions League, on Fox Sports. Oh my God, I just want that guy to stop talking.
I used to listen to him on Periscope.
Oh God.
When I was back in my community college days, I would go listen to him on Periscope. And
what do you think of his comments on U.S. men's national team?
He's completely accurate.
You definitely think so?
It's completely appropriate for what the U.S. are given as a team.
It says right here up next in this video, obviously where it's the clip, it said there's always an excuse with the U.S. men's national soccer team.
Yeah, and they're running out of excuses. You can only go so far to say, okay, we'll give you a new coach, we give you good players, a wonder kid. Yeah, as you said, you don't owe it to yourselves. You owe it to the fans that come in and support you, not only in the big stages, but you saw what the atmosphere was at Red Bull Arena. It was packed, and the U.S. deserves to. The U.S. fans deserve to have better quality. So that's my thought.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll quickly respond to that. I don't think that I think that Alexi Lawless is accurate in what he's saying, but I just think that out of context, I don't think that a former men's national team player should be saying kind of words like that. That's just like the player's going to hear that because he's on media where he's very popular.
Yeah.
Or he gets out there. Basically, I should say. I wouldn't say he's the most popular figure, but I do say he will get out there. And that will get back to the players in some way.
He's a speaking point for U.S. soccer because he's done a lot. He was one of those first players to play abroad. He was one of the first players to play in the Serie A when it was amazing.
Okay. Like I said,
still is amazing. I'm just saying the quality was a lot higher when he played there.
Like I said, though, I just as a person though, and just the way he commentates, it's exhausting. Listen to him talk. So hearing that, it's just like,
you think he's too harsh on them?
Definitely. I mean, just the way he talks, and I mean, yes, like they should be playing better, but you shouldn't have a former men's national player coming out and saying something like that. Like that's just rude and uncalled for.
Throwing dirt on them, and
I mean, it's just very rude, and you hear the tone of his voice. He just sounds angry. Like, I mean, it's frustrating stuff, but you shouldn't be calling these players not Zen or is this it or it's crazy. Like,
do you think Michael Bradley and Josie Alto are good enough for our national team?
I mean, who is better than them though? Like, you can't really.
Bobby Wood.
Okay, but I'm saying in terms of Michael Bradley though, he scored some great goals for the men's national team, and
he's had his moments, but I just feel like ever since his Papa came into the coaching.
Yeah, I'm not too big of a U.S. men's national fan, so that's a tough question for me.
His dad going to the coaching circuit made him sort of a prong and a three-pronged stool where he would always be the support. He would always be that player to be in the pool for the national team whenever it can come around. So I think that Michael Bradley's not good enough. I don't think he's one of those players that makes an immediate impact every time he plays.
Okay, that's good final thoughts of the week. For me, I have to say that it was honestly good to see the big teams get back to normal.
Yep.
Not just Arsenal, but just everyone.
Just every league, every opportunity for all these players to play again, and no matter what the league is, no matter what the competition is.
I have the saying here. You said sanity is back.
Sanity is back.
Yeah, we have UCL, Champions League, week in, week out, Europa League, week in, week out, Premier League, week out, League One, you name it. Now it's there, week in, week out. It's awesome to finally be able to talk about this every week because we have new stories happening every single day. Especially once January comes, it'll be interesting to see.
I'll be salivating at the time to find new stories to look at.
I think that like you said, it was so interesting to see these new signings being playing for their new teams. They've been gelling. You have to say Neymar and Mbappe we always talk about obviously, but you look past that. You had what's Dembele coming right into Barca.
There's no friction, and
nothing.
I'm happy that it's sort of dangerous with the money that Neymar's been offered. It's sort of all right. You saw it a little bit at the end of the Celtic. I saw a little bit at the end of the Celtic PSG game today that Neymar's ego, I feel like, was inflated a little bit, and he wouldn't shake hands with any of the Celtic players, which I find is a little sad by my standards.
Yeah, come on, Neymar. Do better, Neymar.
Yeah, dude, come on.
You hear me? No, he doesn't hear me.
Well, I don't know, maybe, but no, but 255 million pounds or euros for his contract, and I feel like his ego is enlarged a little bit. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, what was your? You have here that the Sanity's back, like we talked about, but I mean, bar that though, can you think of your most important thing you learned from this week?
From this week?
Yeah.
Well,
I'll put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot, but it's all right.
Well, like I said,
I feel like let's go back to saying that the signings are making impacts. For the most part.
Okay, well, look away for a second from our normal PhD Neymar Mbappe. Who's been your obviously your biggest impact? He's a new signing for Stoke.
Might be, but Choupo-Moting or Hesse so far. Hesse.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier.
Hesse at Stoke.
How Stoke are having this kind of, I wouldn't say new generation, but I mean they're bringing these new players to kind of revolutionize the way they actually play, and it's kind of nice to see for once a team like Stoke City who are actually playing soccer.
Of course,
that's kind of cool. All right, well, I mean, do you have any last words to say before we wrap this up?
Well, my co-host actually scored a goal this past week, which is pretty nice, I gotta say. He got through on a through ball, got on the end of it, and then slotted it. So congratulations to Billy Rogers scoring for Gallaudet 2 years in a row. So
against,
good for him.
Scoring against, yeah. I mean, nice to score a goal always. Score a college goal. That was pretty cool. But I mean, shout out to you for coming to watch. You were my dad and mom there. And my girlfriend also. That was awesome.
I'm your number one fan.
I appreciate it. No, I texted Alan after the game, and I thanked him for being there. It's always great to have support.
I can't wait to be back. That's the wonder thing. I want to be back, and we'll get to that one another episode. But we really appreciate you guys coming and listening to our podcast. Come back again next Tuesday for another busy week in the soccer world. Once again, you can follow us on at Views FTTL.
That's on Twitter.
It's on Twitter, and you can find us on Facebook. Newly on Facebook, we just set one up today. Correct, Billy? It's
yes, sir.
Just search Views from the Touchline and support our blog by logging on to viewsfttl.wordpress.com.
Okay, well, I appreciate you getting us in that little outro there.
Yeah.
Just another mention too. You can access our podcast by searching Views from the Touchline on either SoundCloud or Blueberry, and we hope to be on iTunes this coming week. I'll be updating this on our social media. Obviously, if it happens, I'll definitely post a link to our our iTunes official podcast.
We really appreciate when you guys share these things because it gets us more noticed and gets our word out better. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that through SoundCloud you can leave comments and stuff. But once it goes through iTunes, if you actually leave ratings, it boosts our podcast.
It makes us better known into the community of podcasting. Even though we're only 2 episodes in, we appreciate all the support you guys have been putting in. And
I was looking back in the SoundCloud the other day. We have almost 100 views in the first episode.
That's very nice.
coming from doing this project and stuff, where I would post blog articles maybe 2 years ago, I'd get 15 views in article.
Have people been coming up to you and been like, "Hey man, I enjoy your podcast" around the campus?
I actually was in class the other day, and my professor, I'm a communication major, and we were talking about media and how media literacy and how people absorb media. Yeah. And he actually asked about if anyone in the class podcast or blog.
Oh wow.
And there is this very awkward 5-second silence where everyone's looking around and stuff, and I'm over here raising my hand slowly. I'm like, yeah, I have a blog and a podcast. I just started. My shy little So that was pretty cool to kind of share that. But I mean, I think that if this blows up, it'd be awesome.
Man, it would be great.
Feel free to share us with anyone who loves a beautiful game or just wants to get updated on all things soccer. It was great to be here again. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys. Bye.